there, welcome to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy and today we're going to be doing some garden planting, so let's go check it out. Alright, so today I have to figure out where we're putting everything. I thought I did this already, but I guess I didn't. So what you're looking at is what I made last year to try to figure out where everything goes. So I figured out where I put everything in the main garden in 2021 and how I can rotate that with some other types of plants. But, you know, every year we keep getting some more garden spaces in. So you can see I have it between these two. All the beds in the back are labeled the same. 2021 I kept it pretty simple, just had some basics in there, didn't do any crop rotation. 2022 I split up stuff between spring, summer, and fall crops. I don't think we're going to go that hard this year. That's okay. So if you remember from last year's video, all these spots that are crossed out, that's actually where we put our garlic. We have our garlic in a different spot this year. So, yeah, now we need to figure out where we're putting everything this year. So, for example, A, C, E, and G, we had potatoes. But the year before, in J, K, and L, we had potatoes. And we had tomatoes in different areas. Feel free to pause this and take a screenshot if you're interested. So now we need to figure out. So what I've determined is there's really only two spots we can put potatoes, which is not the best crop rotation. Ideally, I'd want to stick with 3 years in between putting similar plants in a spot. So for example, like in P, I believe we had, I guess we haven't had anything there. Anyway, so P, we could put potatoes because it hasn't had a nightshade in it for the last few years. Same with B, hasn't had a nightshade in it. Now D, right here, F, and I. Let's see, D, we had eggplant, which I believe is nightshade. Oh goodness. Okay. Let's see, F. We've had tomatoes in there 2 years ago. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see, and I have not had any nightshades in. So rotating your nightshades, especially when a large portion of your garden is nightshades, can get a little tricky. So I really only have 2 beds we can dedicate to the potatoes this year. That's fine. We have other areas. So on the front of our property, we have these 2 long beds. If you remember, that's where we put our sorghum, triticale, and rice, and tobacco. So this year, where our tobacco was in the smaller bed, we're going to put sweet potatoes. So that's going to be a whole sweet potato bed. And then the other side, we really want to use for stuff like cabbage, lettuce, carrots, radishes, beets. So that'll be fun. In our trees, where we had, it was cardoon and sesame seeds. This was all beans, and this was all beans. We're going to do something different. We're going to ideally do all corn in these beds. I have to double check how much corn we have. Might have to get some more to fill up the space. So keeping that in mind, where the heck are we going to put our potatoes? Well, 2 years ago, we did have a small patch of extra potatoes we put over here that did okay. So what I think I'm going to do is take the risk, because we actually added a lot more soil here since we planted that, is we'll put our potatoes all here, and then we're actually going to put our tobacco there. This year we're going to, and we're going to put cardoon with the tobacco over here. And this year we're not going to grow 3 kinds of tobacco. We had, I believe it was Big Gem. Oh goodness, I don't remember the other one. I don't remember. Anyways, and Petite Canadian, and we're just going to do Petite Canadian. And then where we had our sweet and dent corn growing last year, we have garlic growing right now along with some potato onions. So once we take the garlic out, we'll put some green beans in there. I had a turnip do really well in the smaller bed last year in the spring. So put some turnips there in the fall. So this is the plan so far. Let me go ahead and go through the rest of it. If you want to watch any of our older videos where we discuss orientation in your yard, to the sun, any microclimates, anything else that can go into choosing where you plant what you want to grow, definitely go review that and then come back here. I'll put a link in the description to some of our gardening tips. But I always like to sit down and kind of orient where I'm going to put our main crops so we can reduce the chances of diseases. I'm not going to lecture you about crop rotation. There's so much information out on the internet. Just go into your favorite search engine and look up crop rotation, or what can I plant before, what can I plant before this? What can I plant after this? What happens if I plant the same thing in the same spot year after year? What kind of pests impact this type of plant? What are good companion plants together where I won't have to use any pesticides if you go that way. If you do use pesticides, I'm not going to judge you. It's all important stuff to consider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to finish making my garden plan, and we'll come right back. I'll show you what it looks like. If you follow our Instagram at the Galaxy Gardens, you probably saw this already, but we have been harvesting our oyster mushrooms from our grow bags. This is a kind of a modest first flush from a few of the bags, not all of them, and we're just going to be dehydrating them whole. As you can see, our little starts are still doing very good. They're growing in. I gotta put a little fan in here though. Hi, Boo. Hey. Yeah. Anyways, we're actually gonna start our greens and start planting some carrots and radishes outside today, but I just wanted to give you a little overview. Right? Yeah, that's a good cat. That's a good cat right there. Yep. All right, let's go back to the garden planner. And we're back. So this took some time. I figured out where everything's gonna go for this year. So let's start, we'll just go through the alphabet, I guess. So in raised bed A, we're gonna be doing some green beans and regular greens. B is gonna be potatoes followed by carrots. C is gonna be cabbages followed by carrots. We're starting some new cabbages this year, so hopefully they do a little bit better with our summers. D is going to be tomatoes and herbs. E is going to be peppers and eggplant with some nasturtium we're going to use as like a ground cover in there, along with some straw. F, tomatoes and flowers. G, just onions. And we're also going to be putting onions around some other beds, but that will be just the onion-only bed. H is going to be drying beans. We have 2 kinds this year, but we'll probably go 3 kinds because we really like the cowpeas from last year. I, tomato and herbs. J and K are going to be some Mennonite sorghum that we got. They're just going to get their own area. L, more drying beans. M, peppers, eggplants, and nasturtium, and green beans. O, drying beans. P, potatoes. Now, like I said, we need to put some more potatoes in. So, we're going to put potatoes back by the chicken coop next to tobacco, cardoon, and cukes. I'm really excited to do cardoon again this year, so they're getting their own spot. We're not growing that much tobacco. I was thinking maybe a line of tobacco near a fence, and then all in front of that's going to be cardoon. In the front, we have our sweet potato bed, and then the other one actually got quite a bit of shade last year, so that's just going to be all of our shade-loving crops. Over by our mini orchard, we have our 4 types of corn, 2 types of popcorn, a dent corn and a flint corn. And we're going to be putting our pumpkins and summer squash over there so they can just trail around. On the side of our house where we had our sweet corn and dent corn last year is all of our garlic, but we'll follow that up with some brassicas and root crops. And then, if you remember from our vlog, we moved our blackberries. So now that whole back area is just going to be ground cherries and flowers, and they can just take over. We have quite a bit of flowers that we want to do this year. So I think they'll look really good. So there you have it. That's the plan. And we're going to do our best to stick to it. I'm going to be honest with you, I've been so exhausted this last week, so I've been trying to just hang out and take it easy. That's why we haven't had any full videos in a little bit. But I hope this is helpful for you if you're planning on doing some crop rotation on your own property, or if you're just interested in what we're doing this year. As we start putting everything in, we'll definitely keep you updated along the way. So now the rest of my day is going to be getting some hardy greens started in their little cups. Same exact way we did with our cabbages and leeks and all that. We're just going to be doing a direct sowing. I picked up some more seed starting mix, and we actually got some worm castings that we can go put outside as well. So starting some greens, putting out the worm castings, planting some like carrots and radishes and stuff, and also divvying up our compost to our raised beds. So I have a busy day ahead of me. I can't record everything, so I will probably put it in our next video, or put it up on Instagram and show you how everything comes in when it's ready. But thank you for joining me today. I hope that spring is treating you well. We had a very dreary rainy day yesterday, and now it's sunny, barely breezy, it's warm. I think it's in the 60s today, which is wild because, you know, it was like a week and a half ago, we still had some snow on the ground. So we're getting into gear, we're getting everything going. And I want to wish you the best of luck in your own garden. If you want to send me some pictures, I would love to see them. You can share it with us over on Instagram at the Galaxy Gardens. You can also check out the link tree in our description if you want to check out any of our other social media apps that we're on. We'll see you next time. Bye.